Hey guys, and welcome back to Jay's and JJ's Kitchen. Trust everybody's doing well. As you can probably tell here from my t-shirt here, I got my smoking t-shirt on, my smoker there, right? So the weather's getting good here in Oklahoma. We're in about the 70s, so figured it was a good time for me to fire up the smoker and show you guys some of my smoking recipes. That being said, today we're gonna try to smoke a brisket. I'll show you my method how I smoke my briskets. That being said, we're going to show you our ingredients and we'll get started. Alrighty then, so our ingredients for our smoked brisket, right? What you see, this is our ingredients that we're going to use for the brisket. I did not include ingredients. I will tell you and I will show you again when I get to that point. However, I also use apple juice. When I do any smoking, there is also apple juice, fresh onion, celery, and a bell pepper that I put in my smoke pan, my water pan, and my smoker, right? And I use a combination of apple, pecan, oak, and a little hickory wood chips for my flavoring. I guess the original Texas version of brisket or whatever is mesquite. However, I don't like it. It is a strong wood, and it will actually kind of, my opinion, personal opinion, it kind of overtakes it. However, if that's what you like, hey, by all means, go for that. But so those right there, I'll show you those ingredients whenever we fire up our smoker on Saturday, right? But however, I give you a heads up, I did get a little bit ahead of myself. But here's our brisket. I've got it cleaned and I've also trimmed it already. So basically now it's just a matter of seasoning it, which is a thick cut of meat as you can see. It was a 20-pound brisket to start before I trimmed it. So what I'm gonna do is hit it with our rub. I've got a Traeger beef rub that I'm gonna put on it. And I also got this bag right here that you see, which is it's a brisket rub. I think it's the Adams brand, an old version that they made. However, they discontinued that some years back. However, on their website, you can go out there and look it up, and they have the recipe for their old brisket rub. I think now what they have is called a Texas brisket. I've tried that. I'm not too fond of that, so I just go back and the little added trouble and make my own, their original version of their brisket rub. So those are the two rubs we'll use. Also working with big cuts of meat, I want the flavor throughout. I want flavor throughout the whole entire meat, right? So what I do with that, I've got a couple cans of beef broth and 1 can of French onion soup, and you see a Lipton onion soup mix. What we do with that is basically I'll put a pack of Lipton onion soup mix up, open up the cans, put it in a pot, put a can of Lipton onion soup mix in there, and let that kind of come to a boil, and mix it up and let that onion soup mix dissolve or flavor into our beef broth and our French onion soup, right? And that's what we're going to use to inject into the meat to give that flavor in there. Also, with that, I will add butter to that to give it a buttery flavor, and also to kind of give it a little tenderizing from the butter aspect of it. And once we get it injected, we'll put packet the outsides real well with our rubs. Then we'll rub it down with some mustard, get it in the fridge, and let that marinate until we get ready to put it on the smoker. So we're going to get to that, get this seasoned, and we'll be back to show you how I'm injecting it, and then come back and put the rub on it and get the mustard on there. And like I said, this will be done and ready for the fridge. Only thing that's left then is put it in the smoker and wait on it to cook. And we'll be back to continue this process. Okay, guys, so we're ready. Kind of let this cool off a little bit. I don't like when I'm injecting. I don't like to inject hot liquid into the meat because it'll have a tendency to start, to kind of cook that section. Although the meat is kind of cold on the inside, it's probably not too bad. But I don't do hot, so I have to put it in the fridge and let it cool off before I start injecting. So we got it down to basically, it's not, I won't say it's room temperature because it's not. It's I can still feel the warmth from it. But anyway, we've got this ready. So what we're going to do is just this whole slab of or piece of meat. We're going to get our injector in there and shoot it as much as we can. See me put my finger on it like that. I'm trying to, wherever I see a place where the liquid wants to kind of come out on me, I'll try to trap it in there to keep it in there, right? This injector that I'm using here, hey, it's coming out on that side. Nice one. Kind of massage it and get it in there, right? This injector that I'm using has got several holes all the way around it. So it's not just shooting in one particular space or spot, it's going throughout, right? And that's what you want. Get that flavor inside this meat. I was reading something and it said basically for every pound of meat you want like 1 ounce. So we're just going to do this and get it in there, get everything well injected. And then we get our rub on the outside, on the external part of it. And say we rub it down with mustard, and this will be ready. We'll let it sit, and it'll be ready for the smoker. That is not a good spot because we've trimmed our fat off of the brisket. You remove this thick section right in here, and the liquid will tend to run out on you, but that's okay. We just want to get that seasoned throughout, and then we can get it covered on the outside, and we'll have this it'll be put it in a bag and let that set, and it will be ready for the smoker. A funny thing about this, I like doing this, right? Because I just like the grilling and I just like cooking. So I like the grilling and the smoking and stuff like that. But I do not eat this. I do not eat brisket. I will eat steak every now and again. Not a big fan of it. Don't eat roast beef. But it's just something that I do. Yeah, I know I'm strange. But it's all good. probably hit this one more time and this will be ready to go. See how I kind of rub it there and massage it to keep it inside so it doesn't come out. That right there, we've got this ready, right? So now it's just a matter of getting our rub, covering the external part of this brisket, and we can call this a wrap. Get ready for the smoker on this. Get our wood chips on there, get that going so you can get those that wood flavoring on there. Let me get my gloves to keep from getting my hands too messed up. Okay, so that was our Traeger that we put on there. Now, we're gonna hit it with that homemade Adams brisket rub. Just like that. Flip it over and repeat. Right? Fun and simple. Everything covered like that right there. And we are good to go. Last step, mustard. Come on now. And just like that, people, there's our brisket. Simple, a little work, not too much, right? Say from here, now it's just a matter of, like I said, letting this set for a day, and we'll put it on our, just a matter of putting it on the smoker. And that right there, it's a 10, just depends on the size and how you can manage your temp. At 225, it's a 10 to 14 hour process for this thing to cook. But we'll get to that point. But once you're doing that now, it's all just, it's lazy man work because you put it in, you get your wood chips. It's just a matter of checking your liquids, uh, making sure it don't run out, and maybe adding wood chips to it when the first set burn out, uh, as long as your meat is uncovered. So basically what we're going to do is put it in and let that smoke until it reaches stall temp 145, 160. We'll pull it out and wrap it real tight in foil. Once we get to that point, we don't have to worry about adding any more wood chips to it because it's gotten the smoke that it needs, and it'll have that about that 1/4 inch ring that you look for when you're smoking meat, right? But anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there on when we get this thing in the smoker. Right now, we're gonna just get this in the fridge. We're gonna put it in a bag and put it in the fridge, and we'll be back whenever we're ready to put this on the smoker. Okay, guys. So now it's time to do our smoking for our. We're gonna put our brisket that we had marinating for the past day or so, and also from firing up the smoker will make it worth my time. And so we're gonna put the turkey on there, also everything that we're gonna smoke today. So I've got a brisket, the brisket. I've got turkey, and I've got bologna. So we've got our grill, not grill, but our smoker here kind of set up. Got my wood chips here. This is the wood that we had, my combination of wood that I told you about that I used: apple, uh, pecan, a little hickory, and oak, right? So we're gonna get our trays here filled with our wood chips, and we've got our. I'll bring my pan over here shortly once I get these wood chips in here, and I'll show you my my water tray, which is not water, but it is apple juice with vegetables cut up in it. It's got onion, bell pepper, and celery. I get the cheapest that I can find because that's just sacrificial that we're putting in here to give the our moisture a little added flavor, right? So this is what we're gonna do. Gonna get our wood chips filled in here, kind of like so. It's just not a big deal on that because we can come back. We're gonna have to anyway. Come back and add more to it. These are gonna burn out, so we're gonna have to replenish these whenever we get to that point. these in their little place down here. That is that for our wood chips. So next, gonna get our liquid tray in here. I hope I got my racks set where I want them. How I want to arrange my grill, but my smokers, my racks and everything. So we've got this is our liquid here. I hope you guys can kind of see what I got here. But it's apple juice. You can see the cut up celery that I got in there, onion parge, bell pepper parge. That's what you want. So we're gonna get this in here. Let me top that off with the remainder of this apple juice I have here. That'll give us a start. We got another one there in the house. We'll come back with that. Get that topped off. Get that in there. Another thing I'll show you is here off to the side of our smoker here, we have our thermometer mounted right here, right? So what I do is on my bottom shelf, try to find a hot section. If you know your smoker, you'll know where your hot section is. What I'm gonna do is get this back here in the back. That's gonna give us an indication of where our temperature is. Basically throughout our smoking process. So we've got that one there. And now also, I have two more here, which will be, I'm gonna try to show you this real quick if I can get them untangled. Which will be inserted, one into the turkey and one into the tip of the brisket, the big part, the thickest part of the brisket, right? We're going to get those internal temps. That's going to tell us whenever our brisket and turkey are done. We're going to try to get our turkey up, I'm going to say 170 on the thick part of it. And our brisket, we're going to have to end up with a temperature of at least 200. I'm going to try to get to 202 on it. And then we'll put that into our cooler for a couple of hours to let it kind of cool down, I guess you call it. But it's a slow cool because it continues to cook. Because I think I mentioned before, once we start this up, that brisket is probably gonna get to 145, 150-ish, and that's a stall point on it, where basically what that means is it'll rise up slowly, a steady rise to that temperature, and once it gets there, it stops, and that's the stall point. So either you can wait on it, but the thing to do is you take it out, you wrap it real tightly in foil or butcher's paper, right? And you stick it back in, and that'll allow you to get over that stall point. And you continue your cook or you're smoking it until it reaches that internal temp of 202 with it wrapped like that. By that time, you've already got your 1/4-inch ring that you're looking for, and it's got enough smoke on your meat, so it's not going to affect it any. But that's how we're going to do that. So that being said, that is everything. That's our smoker loaded with our wood chips. our liquid. So now it's just a matter of putting our meats in and getting this thing going. So I'm going to fire this up, and when the temps comes up, we're going to stick our meat in there and get it going, and I'll come back and show you how I have the meat in there. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, so we got our smoker pretty much up to temp. Should have let it go over, because once you start opening the door and putting your meats in, your temp drops, but it's no big deal. By the way, I should have also mentioned I got a late start today, kind of overslept, and can't say I overslept, I just didn't feel like getting up. So it's going to cause me to be out here longer. But that being said, we pulled our meat out of the refrigerator and let it sit somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours prior to getting ready to getting it in the smoker, right? So that being said, let me show you. I'm going to lose some heat here, but I want you guys to see what I did. You can see the smoke is starting to come out already, and we've got our smoker loaded, and we're going to let it sit here and basically let it do what it do. Um, the first thing that we should be done with is our bologna. I got to get my timer for that. We're going to let that go 3.5, probably to 4 hours, and we'll pull that out, slice it up some, cut it down some, I should say, put it in a pan with barbecue sauce, put that in there, and let it caramelize. And by that time, probably our turkey will be getting close to being done, but our brisket is going to have to go. Maybe by that time, it'll be time to pull it out. We'll see what the temperatures are like. If it's at that stall point, that'll be a good time there when I'm taking that stuff out to pull that brisket out, wrap it real tight in foil, and put it back in and let it finish cooking like it's going to do. That being said, we'll come back and check in from time to time to let you see how our smoking is going. Alrighty then, guys. So you see our turkey is still in there. Our bologna is done. We've got that in the house. And here is our brisket. We've got it wrapped in foil. And this is going to go back in and get our probe back in there on that point side, right? Here we go. And let this guy sit here and come up to about 202. They're about 200, 202. And guess what? For the smoking part, we will be done. And it's just a matter then of, like I say, taking it out. We're going to put it in a cooler and let it set for about 2 hours. And then it's ready for slicing. So we'll come back. Looks like it's going to be fairly quickly here, because our turkey is about up to temp, and we'll pull that turkey back off, but the brisket is going to remain there until it gets up to 202. So we'll be back then. Okay, guys, so it's been approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9.5 hours. And we've got our internal temp on the point part of our brisket up to 202. So it's time to pull it out. And we're going to put it in our cooler here and let it sit for about 2 hours. Then it's ready. However, I'm not ready because I'm not going to mess with it. But I'll pull it out of my cooler in 2 hours and just let it set until I cut it, right? So that right there is basically, pull our thermometer out of here, all it is to smoking a brisket, right? So we're going to put it in here. Yep, that's what I got. A pan in my cooler here to catch the juices off of that brisket. What I'm gonna do, It's not required. It's just something that I do. I wanted to kind of capture or catch that juice. And I've got some beef consumi and French onion. Uh, put some onion soup mix in it, right? And put that in the bottom of my pan and let that brisket, once I slice it, to let that brisket lay in there, making sure that it will not dry out on me. And that right there, people, that's a wrap for our smoking. Uh, this is the brisket. You saw earlier the turkey come off. And before that, you saw my bologna come off. And that's it for this one. I think our next smoking addition will probably be some ribs. Not sure if I'll smoke the ribs or the pork butt. But you guys let me know which one you want to see first, and we'll go from there. Hey guys, thanks for watching. We'll show you the brisket once we cut some of it, and we'll show you that. Other than that, we're done for the night. Thanks. So okay, guys, I we took the brisket off of the out of the smoker. We let it set in the in that cooler that I had. I showed you when I put that in the cooler, or yeah, I took it off and put it in the cooler rather. We let that set for about 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, and so I finally took it out today. Uh, because I let it set closed. You want to put it in there and close it so it's a good seal, so it maintains that temp and it slowly cools down. And so after 3 hours, I did probe it and it was still like 170 degrees. So I basically just cracked the top on it and let that set. And we came back and we sliced it today. And as you can see, there is our tray of smoked briskets. And so that's going to be it for that one. Contemplating lining up everything that we cooked and just showing you everything that I cooked in that smoking episode that we went through yesterday. But anyway, that's it for our brisket. So okay, guys, just thought I'd kind of come back and put everything together that I did for my cook this weekend, right? So we had our smoked brisket, starting from the back right there. We had smoked brisket. In the middle there, you see that's the smoked bologna. Up front is our smoked turkey. On the left, you see up from the rear, I did a pan of macaroni and cheese, which you see some is missing, and I did a pan of potato salad. And again, there is some of that missing too, but it is all good. Like I say, I'll take this in to work, and it will definitely get destroyed in a matter of days. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching my video.